In the tapestry of life, where every thread holds a story, America in black and white emerges as a haven for the voices echoing through the heart of our communities. In this podcast, we wade through the rivers of our collective experiences, celebrating the vibrant hues of change brought forth by the whispers of hope and the roars of action. It's more than just a conversation. It's a journey into the heart of our society, illuminated by the light of those daring to dream and do. Join us, and let your voice be the melody that guides us toward a dawn where every color finds its place in the masterpiece of our shared destiny. Together, let's paint a future brimming with the positives that dwell in our minds and the actions that shape our world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of America in Black and White. I want to apologize to each of you out there that's in the audience that's watching. Here in Atlanta, we are having this crazy weather pattern, and it basically has done a little disruption. So we are back with our guest, Mr. Terrell Sarver. Mr. Sarver, I want to apologize to you as well. Of course, it's beyond my control, but I'm really sorry about what just happened.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I was wondering what happened. I'm like, man, he's just sitting still. I'm like, you hear me? You hear me? So it's good. It's cool.
Yes, sir. So the last question I remember I was just asking you was in what ways has diversity sharpened your business acumen? You know, this
Right.
is as you being an entrepreneur.
Yes. So I was talking about how the job itself is about problem solving, and that's pretty much what I do all day. So I've learned through this process of the skill that I was able to develop was the ability to not allow a situation or a negative situation to determine the outcome. So it's the initial hit, right? But the initial hit doesn't always determine the outcome. And that's all problem solving is. And so that's one of the things that I've learned. And I try to use that same skill set even in my personal life when I'm dealing with my own challenges and my own personal situations. So adversity in this industry served me well because I don't give up on situations. I know one day things could look this way, the next day it can look this way, but we don't give up and we keep seeking options. So that's what I've learned from it.
Okay. So as a Black entrepreneur, what systemic barriers have you had to navigate and how?
Once again, that goes back to the team. One of the difficult things that I've had to navigate through and still today, in some sense of it, is knowing what I have on my plate, but also knowing that it's bigger than me. And also always having the right people around you is key to anything that if you're holding anything heavy or anything too big for you. The key is the people that you have around you that can help you carry it. And so that's been the biggest difficult for me through my entire career. It's just assembling and keeping the right people around me.
Okay. So, but let me just ask you this, just to add a little bit more, information here to that situation. When you think about systemic barriers, have there been any barriers, when it comes to actually not just starting your business, but really getting it to grow to some extent? Were there any barriers that were or obstacles that was in your way that impeded your progress for some period of time?
When you say systemic barriers, are you talking about just how the systems are set up?
Well, just whatever the barriers may have been. I mean, were there any barriers
Well, no, the only
or things of that?
No. I mean, like as far as me having the opportunities and be able to succeed and excel in this industry, no, I didn't really see any barriers in that fashion. The barriers I saw was the people that I was working around with, and trusting people, and then too, just the clientele sometimes too. You know, when you're dealing with some type of clientele when they're not so educated on the process, the lending side. So you waste, you know, I shouldn't say waste a lot of time, but you spend a lot of time convincing people that you're not a scam artist and, you know, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So those are the type of barriers that I saw. It's just dealing with our own people. And, you know, that was it. But other than that, it wasn't the, you know, the systems that were put in place. Fortunately, man, I was able to learn an industry that gives everybody an opportunity to excel. Men, women, people of color, all that. I've seen all nationalities excel in this industry. And to be honest with you, I never seen anybody disrupt anything, isolate anybody, stop people from having opportunities. I didn't see none of that. All the lenders and the investors and stuff that I work with, we all have one common goal, and that's to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So this is a great industry for anybody that has been trying to get into this industry or just didn't have a foot in the door or how to go about taking advantage of an opportunity. Have them, you know, give me a call or what the situation is. But this is a great industry, and the industry can flourish. It flourishes real well in these type of economies, right? If you know where I'm going. Yeah, so it flourished very well. That's the reason why a lot of people put him in office. They don't care nothing about nothing else. It's all about his ability to put money in people's pockets. And so that's what it's all about. So the opportunity is here.
So what unique strategies have helped you remain innovative and resilient?
Yeah, bottom line is the people, once again, the people that I'm connected to, my extended arm, my brokers. My brokers keep me relevant. They keep me busy. You know what I'm saying? So my job is to empower them. So I try to equip them with the best, with all the information, the loan products and information and all that. And they're kind of like my marketing, my extended arm and everything. And but I do spend a lot of time on social media as far as marketing and that type as well. But then the ultimate reward from this is referrals. There was a period at one time where I didn't have to do any marketing. I do marketing now just to be relevant. But to be honest with you, I don't even have to do marketing because my referral base is so strong and I've been doing this for so long that I just get referrals. So that I take pride in that because we do great work and we're able to get stuff done. And we're able to be creative when we're able to do it as well.
Okay. So how do you balance profit with purpose in your ventures?
That's great because a lot of time purpose always trumps profit. Always trumps that. So a lot of times, you know, we do things. A lot of times I've done stuff and not even get paid. Or there were times where I actually waived my fees so purpose can go forth. Because a lot of times, all about the client, man. A lot of times it's not about, because we can't get rich. We can't get rich on one deal. Number one, that's my rule. You can't get rich off of one deal. Number two, it can't just be, you know, I'm on commission. I've always been on commission. But at the same time, man, sometimes you just have to meet people where they are. And if information is all you can give them, I freely give you that.
So what advice would you give to aspiring Black entrepreneurs looking to build generational wealth?
To get into opportunities where it's going to be profitable, in demand, and probably something that you can get in and out on. That's how you build wealth. You don't build wealth by saving stuff. You actually build wealth by selling stuff, right? So start businesses. Start businesses that you can actually, you know, that you're going to sell it within 3 to 5 years. Build wealth that way, you know. Sell businesses. A lot of people are getting into real estate. Everybody's doing the real estate stuff, but I say there's a huge market out here for people who are buying businesses, turnkey businesses, keep businesses that are already cash flowing. To me, that's a perfect way to be able to get a stream of income coming in different areas. Is buy businesses, you know. So buy things that will give you a big profit right away, and stuff that you can keep on the books for 3 to 5 years and go to the next project. So that's what I was focused on.
So can you share a pivotal decision that changed the trajectory of your career?
Deciding to be an entrepreneur and not settling for something that not allowing a roadblock to stop me from getting done what I needed to get done. Just being persistent. Not taking no for an answer. Working hard to brand myself and redevelop myself and reinvent myself was the key to the whole change. Was willing to tackle, because entrepreneur can be scary, but because I was prepared and because of the real objective was to make sure I was in position to take care of my family. It took all that anxiety and fear and all that away. And I'm glad that I was able to do that, because since I've done that, God has really blessed me and put me in situations that the average person wouldn't be able to get access to. And I don't take no credit for that at all. Everything that is good that is happening to me, it comes from the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take anything for granted. I also understand and know that my steps are ordered by God. And because my steps are ordered by God, He the one is leading me to these opportunities. So I don't take anything for granted. I'm very grateful for the opportunities and also the people that I get to meeting you. I'm grateful for meeting you. I believe there's going to be some other things that's going to allow us to continue to stay in contact with each other. You see what I'm saying? So this is another ordered step. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just blessed, man. I'm blessed and I'm just grateful.
So how do you measure the impact of your work beyond revenue?
Touching the lives of people. See, I'm a minister before I'm anything else. I'm a minister as well. So a lot of times I get an opportunity to really get the chance to meet people, but also get to understand where they are in life and what it is that they're trying to do and accomplish. And a lot of times these people are confused and they're frustrated about their situations and they know where they want to go. And a lot of times, man, I can just listen to them and then maybe minister. I pray with my clients before. I give my clients advice and strategies based on how I felt God was leading me to advise them, just based on me just taking the time to listen. You know what I'm saying? When I first meet a client, investor or whoever it is, I really try to take the initial meeting. I really try to take time so I can get to learn them, because I can't give them what they're looking for, or give them the best options if I don't know what's driving them. I don't know what they're going through or what they're trying to accomplish. So that information helps me to serve them better. So my biggest thing out of all this is to get in actually to sit down and talk to people and help people get out of their situations, even if I benefited from it or not.
So let's delve a little bit deeper into the real estate, where apparently this is where you're building your legacy. So can you tell us, why did you choose real estate as a vehicle for empowerment?
Real estate chose me. And the reason why it chose me, so that the man I was telling you about that trained me and all that, well, we all went to church together. And we just happened to play basketball. And he told me that we playing basketball, church basketball team. And at the time, I was doing something totally different. I really didn't have no direction for my life at the time, to be honest with you. And I was just out here hanging out. I really didn't have no direction, nothing. And I wasn't even interested in mortgages. I didn't even know anything about mortgages. I didn't even know how interest rate worked. I didn't know anything. I was a salesman though, because I've done sales pretty much all my life. So I can sell, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know anything about mortgages. So make a long story short, we played basketball one day and we got to talk. He said, I own a mortgage company. I was like, oh, wow. Woo, woo. So a friend of mine, he's passed away now, but he was working there. We all went to the same church. And he was working there. So he said there was a loan officer position available. And so I interviewed for the position and been doing mortgages ever since. I ain't done nothing since. This was 2003. That's all I've done. I ain't done nothing else when it came to work. That's all I've done. So it found me. Wow. I didn't have no say so in it at all. It found me because it's part of purpose. It's part of my purpose. You know, the marketplace. I'm called to the marketplace. So what better to be in a marketplace where they would be able to lend. I mean, it's ministry, man. That's all it is. It's ministry. That's all it is.
So what misconceptions do you believe Black communities have about real estate?
That's a good question. That is hard to acquire. And that is also get rich quick. Quick, you know what I'm saying? Think if you buy real estate, you get rich quick. That's a myth too. It's a process to it. And then with the way the world is going on now, you even have to be creative when it even comes to how you're gonna cash flow your properties when you do get them. You know what I'm saying? So I believe those are the things, and that just comes with education and actually sitting down with people and letting them know the real deal. And that's one of the great things about me in the position that I am, as being a broker / private lender. You know what I'm saying? Is because I can really give you the pulse. I can really sit down with you and give you the pulse of the industry and what's actually going on out here, and what can stop you from going forward and what can't. And if you're not in a position to go forward right now, I can empower you with information so you can move forward. So that's the reason why you want somebody on your team like me, entrepreneurs, business owners. You want a financial person on your team. It don't have to be me, but you need someone on your team that can give you the pulse of the industry concerning your particular business, because all businesses are not bankable. There are a lot of businesses are restricted.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you need somebody like me on your team that can give you the rundown and prepare you for what it is that you needing to do when it comes to getting money for your business. And because everybody now wants to be debt free and don't owe no man nothing but love, and I get all that, but I don't. And I think that's great for your personal life. But on the business side of things, you need to learn how to leverage the bank's money. If they're going to give you money, if the vault is open, take advantage of that money and use it to your best ability. But don't shy away from taking the bank's money, especially when they're giving it away.
That's sound, but now what's interesting about that though, that's like right now in these times with the way interest rates are. I mean, how would you manage that for a lot of people? How does that work?
Well, bottom line is too, I mean, money is expensive, especially when you're borrowing with no collateral. You know, if you got collateral on it, then we got a good chance to get a lower the interest rate. But when you're asking for money with no collateral, just off the strength of your credit score and income information and stuff, that's a risk. And so it's gonna tax you. They're gonna tax you, right? But my thing is, if you're gonna borrow money, I don't care how much it costs. What's your plan for the money? That's my key. Why are you asking for money? Because a person, think about it, if a person is focused on an interest rate when it comes to working capital business loans, then you don't have a plan for the money. You don't have a true plan for the money. It's very interesting because think about it, because the goal is to flip the money, and whatever direction you put it in, the goal is to flip it so you can make your profit and pay the person back. I don't care how much it costs, because you open up a door for me. I don't care how much it costs. That's where the hangs up. That's where the hang up at. That's where that real hang up is too. Everybody's so money conscious, where they worrying about paying. They should be. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to make sure people are gouging you and all that stuff like that too. But at the same time, I've seen people turn down money that would have changed their life simply because of an interest rate.
So how does real estate intersect with your mission for community wealth building?
Well, I deal like, so once again, when I'm doing ministry, when I'm sitting down with people, I don't lead with that. We lead with consulting and sitting down and just trying to empower people. But then those opportunities come where people are looking for opportunities and whatever. So now, because I'm in the industry, then I can serve in another capacity as far as resourcing, giving them opportunities and stuff so they can go to the next level based on the plan of action and what they've already had disclosed to me as far as what their dreams and aspirations are. You know, we do a lot of stuff, not just real estate. We have access to trucks, the whole nine. We have access to a lot of stuff. So we try to give out information based on a person's need and what their call is and what their purpose is and what they're trying to accomplish. So the key is to be full of resources. So when people come, we got answers for them. That makes sense.
What strategies do you use to educate first-time home buyers in underserved communities?
Financial literacy. Prepare them. A lot of times what we want to do is prepare people, especially first-time home buyer. You just don't want to throw a person into a house because we're going to be back to where we was in 2008. And that was the reason why 2008 happened, was because a lot of people were buying houses and couldn't afford them, but they were getting cash at the table. You see what I'm saying? And so you got a lot of people in here buying houses and couldn't afford them. So we don't want to do that. So what we try to do is prepare. You know, of course, a lot of people, when I was doing primary mortgages, because I don't do primary mortgages anymore. I don't do those. But during that time, most of these people that are looking for home ownership, it was always some type of emergency. You know what I'm saying? Where you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, so you try to meet a need so you get it done. But I try to advise people, let's prepare you for this. Let's educate you. The key is education and then implement the plan. Because maybe you need to relieve some debt before you do it. Maybe because you got to save for your down payment, right? You got to save for your down payment. Then you want to work your budget in place. You want to make sure that your budget's in place. You know what I'm saying? So you're sacrificing now and saving. So when it's time to get into the home, because getting the home is not the end of it. That's just the beginning of it. Now you got these other expenses that are going to be added on to you getting this mortgage. You know what I'm saying? You got to have an emergency fund. You should be able to save for that. So just in case something goes down, make sure you got warranties, all that type of stuff. So the goal is the key is to implement that, is to prepare them from home ownership. Prepare. I used to have back in the day. I used to do first time home buyer classes. So I would have a class every week where I would educate, do a little 30-minute presentation, educating, and then take people's information, and then we follow back up with them. But the key was to educate on a large form.
So how do you approach gentrification and neighborhood preservation?
Say that one more time.
How do you approach gentrification and neighborhood preservation?
I haven't really dealt with that yet, if that makes sense. That makes sense. I haven't really thought about how I would attack that, because I haven't really had that problem either. Does that make sense? Okay, yep. So I haven't really, next time we talk, I have an answer for you.
What's the most rewarding project you've worked on in real estate?
I've had a lot of rewarding projects. I'm actually doing one now. Actually, it's a seven building commercial building with 64 rooms in it. It's a specialty building. It's set up for daycare, ministry, that type of thing. And so this group right here is actually buying this property to actually house underprivileged and actually underserved elderly community, along with people who are having issues with housing. So they're doing all this 64 rooms to starve the unfair treatment that sometimes our elders receive. So that's rewarding.
So basically, the community, something like a little community center, a rehab facility to some extent.
All that stuff, and also housing as well. Providing housing for them as well, because a lot of times they have the money because they get the disability or whatever they're getting, but it's still not a lot of housing available for that community. So they're focusing on that, which I think is great. And then also I have a lot of investors that are buying real estate now in larger buildings as well to serve the homeless community as well. So a lot of shared housing is happening now, especially with our vets, our homeless vets. You know, they need housing tremendously. So I'm working with a lot of investors, even when it comes to that. And that's the purpose of them getting these properties, these multifamilies, and so on and so on, to actually provide housing for our homeless community, because especially in our community, that's rampant. It's rampant. And it's becoming a renter's market. So the rents are all-time high. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not easy it's not as easy as it used to be to secure housing. So a lot of so I see a lot of people are going towards shared housing. And I know a lot of people are even doing like a lot of extended stays, those types of things, because they don't have to pay down. People don't check the credit and all this other stuff. You just pay your stuff. So I deal with a lot of people out here that are concerned about the homelessness that is going on in our communities, and they're trying to do something about it. So those are always rewarding.
So what role do land ownership and housing stability play in Black liberation?
It serves a lot, because first of all, we have housing, so we're secured, right? And we're secured in our thinking and our manners and how we're able to take care of ourselves. And then we can be able to focus on other things like becoming entrepreneurs, you know, homeowners and that type of thing that can increase the values in those communities in the surrounding areas as well. So the key is empowerment. The more we empower and get people in our communities empowered, the better our communities will be served, and also be able to bring in resources, which would allow profit to come in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, you know, like we were talking about, you know, like first-time home buyers and how you take them through this literacy course, or you was teaching the financial literacy before people actually were able to buy a house for the first time. Can you walk us through a moment when a real estate deal changed a family's trajectory?
Well, let's go back to the foreclosure side of things. You know, there were a lot of times where I met with clients because of a financial issue. Then a lot of times families were being broken, turned upside down because of what was going on in the house financially. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, you know, by us being able to get those loans modified and get people to give them a grace period to pay back, or pay back the delinquency and be able to start fresh and move forward, man, that saved families. That saved a lot of families. That saved marriages as well. That's the reason why I keep telling you this is ministry, what I do. I'm just happen to do it on this platform, but I'm actually ministering. You see what I'm saying? And so it's just great to see. It's very rewarding, man, to be in a position where someone calls you and they are in a situation, and you can not only listen to what they're saying, but have a solution for them. It's the best thing that I can describe, man.
So what's the legacy you hope to leave through your real estate work?
I want to be able to leave a working portfolio for my daughters. I want them to be able to go behind me. I want to be able to lay the foundation down and be able to leave them behind and everything in working order, and where they can actually build on the real estate, become conglomerates, you know, do way more than me, to exceed way more than what I'm doing. But my job is just to lay the foundation. You know, look at Kobe Bryant and what he did. He didn't know when he was going to leave here, but he left a strong foundation. All they can do is all she's doing is just running with it. She's just managing what he left. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to build where when I'm gone, my family can just manage it and keep it going. They ain't got to add or take away. Just manage what we built. That's all you want to do. That's all you want to do. Because I'm in the latter part of my life. I'm 57. I'm in the latter part of my life. So my job right now until he takes me home is to build my legacy for them. So I'm living for them. It ain't even about me no more. It's over for me. You know what I'm saying? It's over. And I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. I get to enjoy the ride while I'm trying to get them taken care of. So it's all good.
So let's transition over to the work you do as in community organizing and the empowerment that you do with that. What fuels your passion for community organizing?
This part is, once again, I know it sounds like a broken record, but that's just part of my purpose, man. Is it's the people. It's the needs of the people. Most community organizations are not built or not even created if there's no need. So it's all about what's passionate, what needs make or that I'm passionate about. That's the empowerment of men, putting men in position to be providers, leaders in their homes, communities, local churches, careers in their business, but also live a life that is pleasing to God. So my job is wanting to empower the community in any aspect or avenue that I can to make our communities better for our families.
Now, when we chatted, you was telling me something about what you do with the men's group. Tell our audience about that.
Yeah, so that's B Men Incorporated. And that was founded back in 2016. And God gave me a mandate and just told me to my assignment was men. And so we started in 2016, and we came out with our first project in 2016. It's called Transform: Powerful Stories of 7 Men Changed by the Hand of God. We got 7 guys in this book that are giving you their story and their testament on how God transformed their lives. And the majority of these guys are married. Some got divorced and got remarried. All of them are ministers and pastors as well. So you get to get a good intake on, just a young man growing up and trying to do the will of God for his life and his family. So we did that. And we did some things with B-Men TV. So basically, B-Men TV is a platform to give men an opportunity to share their stories and stuff. Because what we want to do really is change the narrative on how the world view men. Right now, men are not getting a good rap, and rightfully so, because we ain't always been right. But I believe God is doing a new thing in men, and He's changing the lives of men behind the scenes, and a lot of men are being transformed right before our eyes. So my job and part of my assignment is to build platforms where men can share their stories, because that's how we change the narrative, right? That you can hear real men, real people, average men. We're not talking about celebrities and all that because they get enough press. We're focusing on regular men that God has done a work in. Maybe made some mistakes in their past, but turned their life around. Maybe getting a bad rap or whatever, but God has turned their life around. So it's also to change the narrative of men, but also glorify God. Right? We're trying to lead people to Jesus, man. And the only way we can do that is with evidence of His power. And He's doing that through men.
So how do you define community, not just geographically, but spiritually and culturally?
To me, community is all about family, which means we protect each other, we look out for each other, we watch each other's back. We don't allow any outsiders to come in and violate anything that is going on in our communities, that we set boundaries and precedents in, and how what we live by, and everybody in the community should feel and should feel and believe in the same thing, right? Because that's community. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how we all come together to protect where we are. And that's what community is to me. That's how I grew up. I'm not used to being a community where I didn't know nobody, or my neighbors didn't speak to me, or I didn't know who their kids were or their family members were. None of that. We grew up, man, knowing everybody, and protected everybody. Everybody was family. So that's what community is to me, and I'm praying that that we can get back to that oneness, that sense of oneness and camaraderie and community. It's important, man. That's especially as we're raising our kids. It's very important.
Okay. Can you share a moment when your organizing efforts made a tangible impact?
I've had a lot of those too. I can name one. Where we put an organization together where we was doing a coat drive, and it was really geared toward men. And so we put I got some people together, and we put some stuff together, and we raised money, but also clothing and coats and all the stuff like that. And we just had a location, and a lot of people came. And we also was able to minister, but also even give out food baskets, all that type of thing too. But the main thing is to try to meet an immediate need, and then use that opportunity as a way to minister as well. So that's rewarding to me.
Okay. So how do you engage communities that feel disillusioned or unheard? Or have you run across that?
Yeah, well, we're putting some campaign stuff here now when it comes to organizations. A lot of organizations, especially not-for-profit organizations, are not succeeding because nobody not being successful because nobody believes in what they're doing. They're underserved because nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody's aware of them. So our goal is to try to bring more attention to the non-for-profit organization. Well, how do we do that? Well, I have access to independent gospel artists. And so I used to manage gospel artists back in the day. I think 2 years ago I was doing it. But we compose something where we get the independent gospel artist who mirrors the same message as a non-for-profit, right? Team them up. We team them up. And then by the independent artists sharing their story and testament, people can relate to it. Now they tend to support the gospel artists simply because they're familiar with the story. We recognize the organization that is giving back in the same manner. And so now we bring attention to both organizations and we market that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then the concert and the event that we're doing brings money to to both entities.
Okay.
All because we shared a story. So that's what we try to do when it comes to bring more awareness to organizations who may be underserved, and that's simply because nobody knows what they're doing. You still there?
So, in what ways do you bridge generational gaps within your advocacy work?
Education. I was teaching at Indiana. What's the name of that school? Indianapolis University. It's one of our local universities here. And I was teaching financial literacy to college students, right? And so when I went in there, these guys were very intelligent, very smart, man, very smart, very intelligent. I'm like, God, what do I have to offer to these people? These people probably smarter than me. He said, you give them your experience. So that's what I have to offer for this generation to bridge the gaps. It's my experience. And that's what I believe all of us, because I believe you're Generation X, right?
No.
What are you, baby boomer?
Oh no, not yet.
So you're Generation X.
I'll be 59 in September.
So you saying we're in the same generation?
Yes.
You saying that's Generation Z or X? What is that?
Actually, the way they count them up, I'm not sure.
I think it's Generation X. It's Generation X. We're Generation X.
Okay.
Well, we are blessed, brother. You know why? Because we're right smack in the middle. of the baby boomer and the millennials.
Yes.
We're right in the middle.
Yes.
So what do we bring to the table? How do we bridge the gaps?
Well,
education. We're experienced. We're the man. Ain't nobody like us, bro.
That's true.
I'm telling you,
True.
We're in a perfect spot.
That is true. That is true.
Yes, sir. So that's why. So that's how we bridge the gap about what we've learned, and we can still be relevant because we still hip, we still young, act. You know what I'm saying? We can blend on both sides. That's what makes us powerful. That's the reason why our generation has been hit the most.
Okay.
We're powerful, brother.
Right.
Powerful.
So, what's one challenge of grassroots work that people often overlook?
The grassroots work is the boots on the ground stuff. People stuff that people are shying away from now because everybody wants the mic. All that. That's that grassroots stuff is that knocking on doors, actually going into communities and actually helping the homeless and the drug addicts. You know what I'm saying? The people that are spending their own money because they have a passion to help people. Those people are being overlooked. Those are the people that we need to sow into because they're doing the work. They make the connections. Those are the people that we need. Those are the people that we're overlooking. The people that are spending their own money and still implementing a mission that nobody wants to help them with.
Right.
Those are the people we need to be dealing with. Sowing back into them and encouraging them.
So how do you keep hope alive in the face of systemic resistance?
My trust in God, man. That's all I have, bro. I'm being for real. You can't fight stuff, man, that's beyond your control. So I just trust God, man, in everything that I do. He's ordered my stuff this far, so I trust him with the rest of it. Everything that I'm doing and everything that I have done has nothing to do with me. I didn't even have a thought about it. So everything that I'm doing, I know I'm supposed to be doing it because it's him. He put the desire in my heart to pursue something that I didn't even know that was even in me. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even know it was in me. So I'm just being obedient. So when he opens the door, I try to walk through it. I don't even question it no more. I just go through it. Win, lose, or draw, I'm just going through it.
So tell us, what's your message to young people feeling disconnected from their communities?
Get more involved. I tell people all the time, because people even say this about their churches. And a lot of people say, well, I don't like to go to mega churches because it's too big. No, it's not. Get involved and it becomes small. Just get involved. You know what I'm saying? Whatever area you're passionate in, get involved. Learn, introduce yourself to the key people, and show up to the meetings. You know, get involved. When people know that you're consistent and they know that they can count on you, they'll open up to you and stuff like that. I just say just get involved because nobody's gonna knock on your door and say, hey, can you help or whatever like that. Just get involved. And you got to understand too, when you're dealing with those organization types too,
right,
you're dealing with a lot of gatekeepers.
Always.
Yeah. You're dealing with a lot of gatekeepers, man. So because as I was telling you that's what I heard in my head. Well, I did try. And you know what I'm saying? So you gotta know who you're dealing with when you're going into these situations. Because 9 out of 10, if a person is saying something like that, 9 out of 10 they probably tried and got rejected. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, if that's the case, then start your own organization. Start your own outreach so you can actually get into community and then do it that way. That's what I would say do. I think it's time out for waiting for somebody to allow you to be involved. Mm-hmm. I think it's time out for someone to allow you to discover you. You know, those days are over. You know, that's how we grew up back in the day. We just wait for the phone call. Them days are over. Create your own platforms.
How has technology reshaped the way you organize and mobilize?
It's helped me a whole lot. It's allowed me to stay organized. It allows me to expand my reach. Something that I had to buy into uh, uh, early on, not later on in my career. But I love technology. I think it's needed. I think it could speed things up for you as well. And I make sure I got people around me that know how to do that stuff. But it's key. I try to use it in everything that I do. The technology part of it, even the AI. I had reservations about AI for a long time, but I'm starting to see the benefit to it. So now I'm starting to embrace that. But at first I didn't want to mess with it because I thought it was demonic. But you can make it work for you.
So, in your eyes, what's the relationship between economic empowerment and activism?
I think it goes hand in hand.
Okay.
Right? Activists, you're out there, you're voicing your opinions, and you're fighting for rights, and in a certain atmosphere, situation, whatever thing. But to back that up with economic power or influence, you're unstoppable, right? How many activists have money? They're looking for money.
And so I think I can see the point that you're making there, but I mean, just when you look at it and you think about it, you think about those folks that are doing the activism, as you say, they go and they build the resources in order to make things happen. So when you say economic empowerment, okay, now this is either you're building it because you have it or you don't have it. So if you don't have it, then I think that's where it cross sections with the activism, because it's to make that happen.
Correct.
So it's like that's kind of like it's almost like a slippery slope.
It is.
So in your eyes, you see them as one and the same.
One and the same. You can't, because you shouldn't even, unless you have the power to raise money or the influence to raise money as an activist. You're just a clanging cymbal. You're just making noise. That's all you're doing. You're just making noise. Wow. Yeah. So, I just think you need something. I just think you need something behind you that's backing you.
Let me give you this example, and then let me see if you still see this the same way. So in this case, if you look at in the civil rights movement, they actually had to pool resources, so they had to raise the money because there wasn't economic empowerment. You see, so that means that they couldn't be one and the same, because if you don't have it, you can't be it.
Well, that was a time at a time. Today is different.
So is it not the same?
I don't believe so. I think there's too many opportunities where we can actually go out and get access to money to be able to do what we need to do. I don't, I'm saying the options were the only option they had back in the day was to go out and raise money. And of course, we can do that today. We call it sponsorship. So we just go out. We can do that. You know what I'm saying? We can do that. But I just feel like now it's better served if you can prepare to go out, you know what I'm saying, and let people know what it is that you're fighting for. That's just my take on it. Because there's too many opportunities for you not to be able to do that. Even if you put your small team together who can.
Hopefully, Mr. Sarver will be able to come back in. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm assuming that Mr. Sarver cannot get back in. I apologize for the technical difficulties we've had today with the show tonight. We've had storms here in Atlanta, and I'm assuming that something's happened weather-wise where Mr. Hammond is in Indianapolis. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to close the show. I want to thank you all for listening and watching this show. For those of you that are watching on the YouTube channel, if you have not yet subscribed, please show us the support of subscribing to the channel, as well as getting all of the notifications to where you're able to catch all the shows when we do go live, as well as watch all the recordings. Just some words of note, for all the content, and I do create, that even includes blog posts and different writings of articles that I write. If you guys find the time, I would appreciate if you can also just follow me on Substack, and you'll be able to get all of that exclusive content there as well. You can subscribe to all of our YouTube channels. We have America in Black and White, but we also have Changing Trends and Times, and we also have CK Stories from the Heart. Each of those channels are mutually exclusive because they all broadcast this podcast, America in Black and White, live, but they do many, many other things, and I would appreciate if you guys could find them on the YouTube channel, check them out. Please subscribe to those as well, and stay updated as to what's actually going on there. Also, if you would, I would appreciate if you guys would just leave us some comments and feedbacks and let us know exactly how you're feeling and what you like about the show, some of the things that you like to see on the show. What would you like from some of the guests? We definitely would take all suggestions in hand, and we definitely appreciate the support by watching the show. As we're you guys know that they're going to be going, and so take a listen and make sure you have your as those changes come about. The changes are going to be some things that you guys would like to see as far as the show goes. I'm Charles King, and I want to tell you guys, I want to thank you again for your time. Please tune in tomorrow night for another great show as we here at America in Black and White. Again, we're coloring conversations on America's canvas, and we appreciate you guys watching the show and being a part of this network as we grow and build communities around the country. Thank you all, and please